All right. Should be live.
Cool.
Sweet. Just give it a couple minutes. I know there's a lag here, so I'll just give a couple minutes here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's check in. Let a couple people join us here, and then we'll go ahead and kind of get started here. But
Sweet. Sounds good. Well, first for me, there's a first for everything here.
Hey, come on. That's right. I was excited. I'm glad you could join me, man. Glad we could get together and, do this event together. So excited.
Yeah, for sure. Same here.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to be about a minute in, and we'll go ahead and kind of get started and let people join. But all right. Well, first of all, I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. And just kind of wanted to give you, whether you're watching this live or even if you're watching it later, just thank you for taking the time to, like I said, just join us and just give you a kind of a quick rundown. But, Paul and I, just as we discussed, just credit and insurance, we just thought what a great opportunity to come together and just have a conversation between two friends and businesses that kind of touch one another in a way or another. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today, just sharing some information with you guys, having a conversation between one another and going from there. So again, thanks for joining us, and let's have some fun just giving you guys information as we have a discussion with each other. So, but if you don't know, this is a good friend of mine, Paul Middle. I'm excited because he's just a great brother in the Lord and just a great man of God. And it's just so exciting to have him here with me. So, Paul, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor and let you introduce yourself to those that are with us here. So go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. I'm going to practice on looking at the camera instead of you, but you're so good looking. That's going to be hard. So I know Dom from church and family, actually. So thanks again for having me on and having me do this with you. So so from Grand Rapids area, married to my wife, Rachel. We've got 3 kids, 6-year-old, 3-year-old, and one that'll be 1 in October. So our hands are full. We're having fun. Got a lively house for sure. So but grew up here in Grand Rapids, moved to Colorado for a couple of years, came back, graduated from Grand Valley State University, which is, man, a lot bigger than when I graduated from there. That's sure. They're taking over downtown now, which is pretty cool. So, and then I've got a branch office of Compass Insurance on Knapp's Corner that just happened this March. So amidst the whole situation at hand, everything's going well. We're blessed throughout it, which is awesome. So
awesome.
That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. And that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. And those of you who don't know me or may not know me, my name is Dominic Jackson. My wife and I own Guarantee Solutions, which is a credit repair, credit restoration company. Actually, let me back up. I should say that my wife owns Guarantee Solutions and I'm an employee. So she has me out here running really hard, but I do work for her, and it's just an awesome thing. So, but together we have 8 children. And as Paul said, we know each other from church and family. We are actually family. And so that's exciting. But we have 8 children and 2 granddaughters, and pretty much from the Grand Rapids area. I've been in the Grand Rapids area since I was 10. Grew up in this area, the greater Grand Rapids. And so, man, I've been around, but that's kind of us in a nutshell. But like I said, we just excited to be here. And so, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started. But I did put together some questions, and I just thought, maybe just ask some questions back and forth. But um, one of the first things I guess I wanted to start with, Paul, was like, how did you get started in the insurance industry?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of the joke in the industry. Nobody when they're younger says, "Hey, when I grow up, I'm going to be an insurance agent." It's
Yeah,
just not one of those things.
sure.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, I graduated from college and took a couple different jobs out of college, and ended up kind of at a crossroads with career and whatnot. And about that time, farmers insurance came to Caledonia shortly before that. So they're kind of a big powerhouse in the area as far as insurance goes. In fact, we have some friends that work at Foremost, which is, farmers purchase them. But long story short, really, my cousin, my uncle have an agency in Colorado. And it's an independent agency, much like ours. But I've seen them; they're successful in life and they enjoy what they do. And so I actually went and applied at Farmers after talking to them and asking them about insurance and what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and kind of decided, hey, let's give this a shot. So and they said that. Their Farmers is a great place to start for education, So, but yeah, that's how I got started in insurance. And my end goal was to end up at specifically an independent agency and a local agency. So, I spent it was under 2 years at Farmers, and then I was like, all right, see you later. I'm gonna get this little earpiece off of me from the call center and head out and start hanging out in Grand Rapids at a local agency. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
Awesome. So what is you mentioned an independent agency. So like, what is an independent agent, and like, how does it differ from other agents?
Yep. So an independent agent, and again, it's the exact same thing my uncle had out in Colorado, which knew I had to get into. So an independent agent basically represents several different companies. So essentially, we actually have over a dozen insurance companies that we represent, right? So like there's a State Farm agent. I mean, he basically just has one company, State Farm, one option. I mean, they're a great company. Farmers is the same way, and Allstate, great company. But if the, and I guess I'm kind of going down a rabbit trail, but basically we provide and service, represent these various different companies like AAA. We've got Citizens, Safeco, which is a part of Liberty Mutual, Progressive, and so everything is underwritten and billed through that company, but all the servicing and sales and managing of the policy as a whole is all just done through us at the agency level. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, got a lot of options for sure.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's definitely, to me, it seems like a benefit, but I guess that would kind of be the next question, and I think you kind of tied that in, but, would you say that's a benefit to working with you as opposed to like a State Farm,
Right. Yeah. And I did kind of tie into that, but, yeah, really the big thing, especially right now, like just the volatility of the insurance market and everything, these companies, the company as a whole, like Farmers or State Farm, if they have big losses, or if they put out some rates that don't really work out for them, then they bump the rates up. I mean, these companies are a big machine and they move actually pretty quickly. Not always to the benefit of the client. And so the benefit of an independent agent is if one of those companies makes a decision at the top to increase their rates, or maybe even pull out of a state, then we can actually reshop and revisit the account and even switch you over to another company if need be. So a lot of times at renewals, I'll have a client email me and say, hey, listen, the price went up, $500. What's going on? And then I can kind of explain to them what happened. But then, oh, by the way, this company I shopped you with is actually going to save you $700. So, and then they're just ecstatic. So my hands are tied, which is really the benefit.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's good stuff. But I mean, enough about me. So I'm curious though, like how did you get into the credit repair industry?
Oh, great question. Yeah, it's funny story. Funny you asked that because for me getting into the credit repair industry, I would say I was kind of thrust into it, so to speak. But honestly, it came from the original founder of the company, Gar. Him and his wife, one day, we went to church together, but they, after one service, we were walking out, and kind of next thing you know, he just, said, hey, I just felt the Lord told us that maybe possibly someday, we might want to look into selling the business. And, you came to mind, as we were praying about it. And so that's really how I got into the credit repair industry or credit restoration. Because, it was one of those things too, is like, as soon as he said it, like something just sat well, it was just that ultimate peace where it's like my wife and I looked at each other and said, we think this is definitely of God, and fast forward, about 3 years later, and that took place, which has been absolutely amazing, because, I've spent 25 years in industries that are directly affected by credit, and to look back throughout my history and how well that it all ties in has just been nothing short of amazing to find myself now on this side. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we actually got started, because it wasn't something I ever thought of doing. Sure. So yeah,
it's crazy how it all ties right in.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. That's cool. So so I guess and I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. So like, what exactly is credit restoration?
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, the legal answer, I guess, no. But the credit restoration, credit repair, the simplest way, I guess, to say it is, it's the process of fixing one's credit file. What a lot of consumers don't realize is that, approximately 79% of all credit files contain errors. And so even if you're in the 700s, it doesn't mean that you don't have information on your credit file that shouldn't be there. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it really is just a process of fixing anything that's erroneous, outdated, unverified, not yours, and that it should be removed from your credit file. And so that is really what credit repair or credit restoration is all about, is helping consumers utilize the laws that are in place for us to do that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But
gotcha. Yeah. And it's legal.
It is 100% legal. Matter of fact, as far as a credit repair organization or a credit restoration organization, we're governed by the CROA, which is the Credit Repair Organizations Act.
Oh, okay.
And so there are certain laws that we have to adhere to as an industry, but then also on the other side of it, the credit reporting agencies, they're governed by the FCRA, which is the Federal or Fair Credit Reporting Act. So, I mean, it's definitely legal, and it's definitely something that consumers should definitely look into, because it's amazing how many times our rights are violated, and most of us have no idea. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, but
Interesting.
yeah, it is. It really is. I did have a couple other questions though for you too. But how is insurance in Michigan set up differently from like other states, or I should say, yeah, like how is
Like
it set up?
probably auto specifically more than other states.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting question. So I don't know. I don't know why Michigan has decided to do it the way they do. But yeah, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And basically, I would say, because obviously for the people that are joining us, there's a couple things they would want to know. They want to know all these different pieces that are just industry related. But I
Sure.
think one of the most interesting things to me is that Michigan's a no fault state, and the words no fault sound kind of pretty. Like it sounds like,
Right.
it sounds like a good thing.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly, just because basically what no fault means is that um, basically in auto insurance specifically we're talking about is, so like in other states, if I were to run you off the road, Dom, in my car, and you have, your car's totaled, my insurance would cover the damage to my car and the damage to your car. It covers everything because I was at fault, right?
Okay.
So with Michigan being a no fault state, if I run you off the road, then my insurance covers myself, and then your insurance covers you. And then you've got a claim on your insurance. And of course, you know how the big insurance companies operate. Your renewal goes up because you made a claim.
Right.
So that, I would say, that's the biggest piece that's different than other states, because we've got a lot of people moving to Grand Rapids from other states, and I've got a lot of conversations where, they're asking about this no fault thing, and they're like, "Wait a second, no, that makes no sense. That my insurance would pay for something I didn't do." You
Right.
know, so
Yeah.
that's where I have the conversation every day. So,
Wow.
and then the other thing is that Michigan specifically, pays for injuries in an auto accident too, which a lot of other states don't. I think essentially health insurance covers other states, unlike Michigan. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now, I guess, kind of bringing up the auto, like, there was a recent auto reform.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, like, how would you say the new reform changes will affect us, or
Hmm.
how are they affecting us?
Yep. So I mean, I can't remember how many pages this bill was that they put through, but um, I'll kind of give you the simple rundown, the few things that affect certain people. So what they're doing is helping to reduce some of the cost for folks that maybe are retired and on Social Security,
Mm.
um, and giving clients the opportunity to select less coverage to lower their rates.
Okay.
Now, one thing that's interesting. So Medicare, if you have Medicare A and B, like you're retired, you're on Social Security, you have Medicare A and B, and then also Medicaid, those two health insurance plans now pay for auto accidents as of July 2 of this year.
Oh,
So
okay.
previously they didn't.
Okay.
And you'd have to have all the medical on your auto policy. So as of July 2, those plans now are obligated to pay for injuries in auto accident. So those folks can either, if you're on Medicare A and B, you can waive your personal injury, your medical completely. If you're on Medicaid, you can drop it down to 50,000 if you want.
Wow.
So those are the options they're giving. It's not necessarily something we're recommending. We don't know how everyone's going to play in the sandbox. This is the first year that this has happened.
Right.
You're talking major accidents, injuries.
Right.
I'm going to be the one to say, "Hey, drop your coverage to lower your rates."
Still
So
some problems. Yeah. Wow.
So that's the opportunity they're giving. And then if you're on a open market health plan or through an employer, you can either leave your medical as unlimited, the way it's always been, not change any coverage, or you can put a cap of 500,000 or 250,000 on it. So,
Oh, wow.
so honestly, the whole, like, that's literally everything that you would need to know about auto reform. They're changing some different, rating factors, like homeowners discounts and marital discounts and stuff like that. But the gist of it is that medical piece. Yep.
Okay. Nice. All
Yep.
right. I got at least one last question for you, though. But
All right.
obviously, being a guy in the credit industry, and you kind of brought up some even discounts as you were just talking there. Like, what would you like? I guess from my past experience, I kind of knew that credit played somewhat of a role in your rates in the insurance industry. Would you say that that's still true today, and kind of how that works?
Yeah. So it's interesting. And this is where you and I are basically touching the exact same, not the same industry, but we are, man, two in one when we're talking about this stuff. So yeah, and it's kind of a hard conversation to have really with clients, because in the past, yeah, credit absolutely affects insurance. They don't do a credit pull or anything. So when you're getting quotes from an insurance agent, you're not getting credit pulled or anything that would affect you whatsoever. But they do see what you have for credit, and the higher credit you have, the better insurance rates you get. And it's not the entire factor in rates, but it is a portion. So it's super important, and that's why I think you and I having this conversation fits really well with both of our clientele.
Right.
In home insurance, absolutely, the credit affects that, and then you tie that into getting a mortgage and whatnot. I mean, yeah, it all works hand in hand.
Right.
Now, the one thing they did do with this auto reform is the insurance companies can no longer use credit as part of rating for the auto insurance. Now, that doesn't affect the home insurance. That's still that's part of it. But I will say that these insurance companies, they know how to rate for credit without getting credit, like within the bill that the governor passed. So, so yeah, I would say, because they call it an insurance score, okay, is essentially what it is. So, yeah, absolutely,
credit plays into it.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's how it affects the insurance industry, But I mean, shoot, you've been dealing with credit for so long. I mean, how have you seen it affect people in the past and present?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, even just my own personal experience with it, right? So, but it affects people in tremendous ways, as we can imagine. But being in the industries that I've been in, I see it every day. I mean, I'm a finance director in the automotive industry, and so I see how credit affects people every day, in and out. To the tune where I've seen consumers pay double for a car, just because of interest. And it's sad because the mentality for us as consumers is, if I can afford the monthly payment, then why not?
Right.
Which I understand. Sometimes you have to do. However, man, if I can help people and still be able to get that same vehicle and pay a whole lot less, like if I buy the same car as someone else and I pay $16,000 and you're paying $32,000.
Wow.
Listen, at the end of the day, you're still paying. I have another $16,000 that I can go do something else with, know? And so it definitely affects people in a much bigger way than what they truly realize, that it's affecting them, and like I said, I have personal experiences with that. I've gone through bankruptcy. I've lost a home. I've lost a marriage over not being good with finances and credit and understanding those things. So yeah, I've seen the effects in a very real and very personal way. And that's why this, to me, like there's just no greater passion for me than to help people in this. And, it's interesting because I have a shirt that says I change lives. And somebody asked me, oh, what's that about? And it was one of those things where, on the back, it has a ad for credit repair. But for me, it's about more because, it's like I say, it's faith and finances. I changed lives through faith, through the gospel, through Jesus Christ, and then finances because, that is for me what it's all about. And I'm just excited for what the future holds in that. But yeah. So long answer, but
no, that's awesome. Yeah. How long does it usually take to repair someone's credit?
Oh, wow. Great question. That depends. Every file is different. Not every situation is going to be different. I guess we get that a lot in one of the ways I tell my potential clients or even clients, it's typically most clients are with us 6 to 9 months, it's not a thing of just, sending out a letter, right? That's
right.
There's a lot of information out there and a lot of things, but it's about setting up the correct process and knowing what to look for. I mean, a lot of these things it's all coded, so we look at a credit report or a credit, our credit file, and it looks pretty and clean and you can read it. But what we don't understand is all of that information is coded, it's computer code, it's Metro 2 coding. So if you don't know what you're looking for and how to find it, you can send all the letters in the world, but if you don't know the case laws and you don't know where this information, why it's getting put in there, you can end up doing more harm than damage. So, but that process typically, I would say is 6 to 9 months. Some are going to take longer. Some don't take as long because they just don't have as much to address.
Yeah.
And, but on average, 6 to 9 months. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. I think I got one more for you.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
What would you say the most important part of the credit repair process is?
For me personally, and I would say this in a whole for our industry, is education. I think that really truly is the most important part of the credit restoration process, is educating consumers on finances and credit and how to manage, really how to utilize credit. I think for so long we've been sold a bill of goods of what, credit was a means to get things sooner, instead of understanding, like, for me, the parable of the talents really comes into play, of understanding that we could be using credit to earn more, but instead we've been using it to buy things to pay for later. And we've missed the entire point of how to do that. So people need to be educated. They need to understand, how to use this to maximize what they have available to them. And so, yeah, that's what I would say. Definitely education,
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. I think that, is about it. I don't really have any other questions, but just why don't you take a moment? We'll each take a moment, just kind of let people know if they have questions or just anything, kind of how they can get a hold of you and get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. So again, I've got a branch of Compass. So Compass Insurance is located downtown. I just recently opened a branch, so I'm up on Knapp's Corner.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can always visit me at the office, Knapp's Corner. There's Dom, look at you.
Man, I'm on it for you.
I love that. So yeah, there's our website, www www.compassnapscorner.com, so you can hop on there. And then my direct phone number is down there rolling across the bottom, 616-965-3742, and then my email there too. So yeah, that's awesome, Dom. I love that.
Nice. Hey, you're welcome, man.
Yep. I do the regular office hours, and then I go home with the family. But yeah, any time there. So
awesome. And kind of the same for me. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at, as you see on the screen there, but guaranteesolutions.com. You can give us a call at 616-800-1017, or the email would be info@guaranteesolutions.com as well. But feel free to reach out to us. We do have kind of set hours, but we do try to make ourselves available to our customers and clients as well. But also on a personal, if you want to reach out to me or find me, I do a lot of educational, a lot of videos. You can find me on Instagram at the Credit Coach 01, or you can find me on YouTube, which is the Credit Coach. And try to give a lot of information and a lot of education, just tips. I'm all about providing as much value as I can to consumers, so that, again, they can begin to change their financial futures. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining Paul and I today. We'll come back to you and do this again sometime, because I just really find great value in having conversations between just business partners, friends, and just sharing this for consumers to have more regularly. So we thank you guys for joining us today. It's been awesome. And you guys have an awesome and blessed day.
Thanks. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Cool.